On Friday, May 11th, I recorded a show on Blog Talk which addressed the issues presented in Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. Now, that book is very popular. A lot of people really subscribe to the theories. I saw black women carrying that book around like it was the word of Moses or something. And it took me a few years to read it. I have to admit, I should have read it years ago. But when I did, I could not believe what I saw on the pages of that book. And I wondered what it was that people saw that I didn't. Why would anyone think that was a great book? It was the most bullshit on paper that I've ever read in my life. So what I decided to do, for those of you who don't want to listen to the entire broadcast because it is long, it was a 2-hour show, included in this recording are some pertinent clips that I think you really need to hear. I want black women to understand that just because a man says something and says that this is how men think does not mean it is true. Because someone is famous does not mean that they are not lying to you. Because someone presents themselves as an expert in something, which although he did say he's not a relationship expert, he said that several times. He says he's an expert in men. Well, I know a lot of men that are not like the ones that he described. And I want to say this one thing right here. Ladies, if you run into a man that is as he describes and he wants you to create a relationship with him like the one that Steve Harvey advocates in this book, you should run. I mean, you should run like you road runner. That's how fast you should take off, because there's nothing for you in a relationship with a man that is like Steve Harvey describes, who is selfish, arrogant, controlling, egotistical, and needy. There's nothing for you there. But I'm going to let you hear the clips yourself. You make up your own mind. If you want to hear the entire show, you can listen to it at the link that I will be including below the show in the show description. Thank you. Act like a lady, think like a man. Okay? Now, I am of the opinion that the book completely fails women in every way imaginable. There are some, though, who were carrying this book around like it was the Bible, like it held the secret to life a couple of years ago when it first came out. And in my mind, I'm imagining him just sitting there grinning and laughing all the way to the bank. Because, sisters, it don't say nothing positive about you. And I don't know. So let's get rolling here. Why do I hate this book so much? The reasons are just too lengthy, but I'm going to try to talk, to walk my way through them. Okay, let's start with the title. Before you even open the book, let's start with the title. Act like a lady, think like a man. Okay, now from the very first sentence, the person who reads the book from the title, their mind is already being set up to accept what's going to follow as factual information, because the title is, where's my little printout here? Hold on a second, because it has a subtitle. Oh, here it is. Act like a lady, think like a man. Everything you need to know about men and relationships. Really? If that's the case, I'm telling you, after reading it, if you read this and you really understand what you're reading, it will make you run from every man that fits this description. And since he says, well, I saw on some of these clips I'm going to play later, he says, I'm not a relationship expert, but I know men. And when he was questioned by some of the hosts, he says, oh, no, this applies to 99.9% of men. Okay, that's pretty awful. Because the way that he describes men in this book, men come across as selfish, needy, controlling, sex hounds, demanding, childish, immature, non-giving, selfish, and a whole bunch of other negative traits. That's what I'm really seeing. So I'm wondering, okay, when people were reading this book, what did they see?
And what I read here was frightening, that this book became kind of a Bible for black women, especially to interact with males. Ladies, this is bullshit. This whole book is bullshit. If you adhere to this stuff and you're going to let a man get away with treating you like this, you will have a very unsatisfying relationship. And I think that one of the issues here, which he never addressed, was when women do when women do treat guys like this the way he suggested, what is it? What are they getting? What is it that the man is giving them to make them want to be in a relationship? He talks about, well, let me just stop. We're gonna go in order. Now, one thing in the book that I did like somewhat, and I'm going to say somewhat because it was kind of a setup, so that's why I have to put that caveat in there. He talks about how women love. And he goes on and on talking about, that she'll love you to the ends of the ocean, and it's deep, and she'll have your back, and she'll pick you up, and she'll do all this stuff. And I found the page right here. Okay, what page is this? This is page 24, for those of you who have, this is the PDF, okay? I'm not sure if it's the same as the book, so let me make that, I don't know how the book is laid out in comparison to this, but I have a PDF, and it's page 24 of the PDF. Chapter 2, Our Love Isn't Like Your Love. Nothing on this planet can compare with a woman's love. It is kind and compassionate, patient and nurturing, generous and sweet and unconditional. It's pure. If you are her man, she will walk on water and through a mountain for you, no matter how you've acted out, no matter what crazy thing you've done, no matter the time or demand. If you are her man, she will talk to you until there aren't any more words left to say, encourage you when you're at rock bottom and think there just isn't any way out, hold you up in her arms when you're sick, and laugh with you when you're up. And if you're her man and that woman loves you, really loves you, she will shine you up when you're dusty, encourage you when you're down, defend you even when she's not so sure you were right, and hang on your every word, even when you're not saying anything worth listening to. And no matter what you do, no matter how many times her friends say you're no good, no matter how many times you slam the door on the relationship, she will give you her very best and then some, and keep right on trying to win over your heart, even when you act like everything she's done to convince you she's the one just isn't good enough. That's a woman's love. It stands the test of time, logic, and all circumstance. Okay, now that sounds, pretty stupid, really, because it sounds like some codependent dumb broad. That's what it really sounds like, with no self-esteem and no self-respect and no boundaries. That's what that really sounds like. Now, by putting that at the beginning of the chapter, it's setting a precedent. Okay, you guys got to understand the game here. It's setting a precedent for you to model yourself after that imaginary woman. So you're saying, if I'm not doing this, then I'm not loving my man enough. Bullshit! That's bullshit. That is a setup. So basically, you're looking at that, this, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, you're supposed to still love him anyway. No, that's not true at all. If he's not meeting your needs and he's slacking and all this stuff, you stop loving him, because that's not what you do. You love yourself. And so the whole book is kind of like that, but it starts with that section right there that I just read you. Let's play this. What he says is the biggest mistake that women make in relationships.
So tell, what is the biggest mistake that women make in a relationship?
Well, you don't get enough information up front. On the first day, you have every right to know what you're getting into. But we're guys, we're pretty crafty now. We've created some terms to keep you away from that, like nagging. Nagging is a term we came up with. That keeps you from talking to us too much because we don't like answering the questions. And then we created terms like gold digger. That's so you don't ask for nothing until we get what we want. So we've done all of this over the years. We're very crafty people. But the biggest mistake that women make is you don't get enough information up front. You got to know on the first night you're talking to this guy what his intentions are. See, look, if we see you in the office or across the room, when we walk over to you, we want something. We're not coming over there to find out what your future goals and all of that. We don't care what your hopes for tomorrow are. No, we saw you, we saw something we wanted, and we're coming over there to see how much it's going to cost to get it. That's the deal.
And, I mean, at a certain extent, he's right. I mean, but all women know that. Men follow their penis. That's just the way that it is. So if he, gets wood over a certain woman, that's going to be the woman he's going to try to talk to. That's just biological. That's just nature. Women like a sharp-looking, handsome, sexy dude, and guys like a woman that, they think is gorgeous and hot and sexy, all that stuff. Okay, that's not rocket science. That's what we do. The initial sexual attraction is what draws us to want to get to know someone. Okay, now, after you talk to the person a little bit, that is either expanded upon or it dies, correct? Now, the problem I had with what he said, and as you read through the book, you will see this thing he promotes, that a woman asks these men these questions, these 5 questions early on in the relationship. What's your long-term goal? What's your short-term goal? I forgot. I have to find my notes. But anyway, what's your intention, or like what kind of relationship you want and that kind of thing. I'm going to say this. He wants a woman to say, I'm looking for this serious relationship. I'm looking to be married. I want all this stuff early on. And I'm going to say, don't do that. You should never, ever tell a man some mess like that when you first meet him. Let me explain why. There are some stupid people in this world that if you say something like that, you are putting your neck in a noose, because they will take those words that you said to them and translate that to mean that you are talking about doing those things with them, okay? Let me just be very clear. So when you first meet a man, you don't tell him shit about what you want to do, what your relationship goals are. If you do that, you're an idiot. So he says, well, if a woman says, I just want to see what happens, well, what's going to happen is just what we want to have happen, because, that's how we are. So I found that very disturbing, because it basically makes it seem like, the guy's just taking control of the relationship and of her, and that she has no decision-making power. No, Steve, that's not how it works. Nothing's going to happen if she doesn't want it to happen. So you don't run shit here. It's all about what the woman wants to happen. And when a woman is cautious about who she expresses her relationship goals and life dreams to, that is how it should be. Comprise those 3 things. I thought it was interesting. So, okay, the support. We have to feel like somebody's got our back, like we're the king, even if we're not. Did you get that? We have to feel like somebody's got our back, like we're the king, even if we're not. And then he says, oh, crap. I'm sitting here looking. Okay, next page. These PDFs are a trip. All right. All we want really is to hear you say, baby, how was your day? Thank you for making it happen for us. This family needs you and wants you and is happy to have you. We've got to feel like we're king, even if we don't act kingly. Okay, now he said that twice. So basically what he's saying, once again, like I'm saying, he's putting something out there, then he's pulling it away. Why is it that you think if you're not acting like a king that you should be treated like one? Are you freaking kidding me? You are not a king. You're not acting like a king, but a woman's supposed to grovel and bend at your feet and treat you like you want anyway? What sense does this make? That's what I'm saying. It's like, did people really read this? The ones who were reading it and thinking it was such a great book. Do you understand what you read? Because there's no way, if you really understood what the dribble is in the pages here, that you would think that this was an intelligent book or some kind of way for you to to navigate relationships. It is the dumbest shit I've ever read in my life. I can't even be polite about it. It's just stupid. Gonna run out and get it from somebody else? Okay, so he's wanting you to be loyal to him, but, you know, his loyalty ends at 8 inches. That's what he's telling you. So I'm like, okay, why is it that you expect all this loyalty and love and kingly treatment, but you're not giving it in return? You just want to give 3 things, and she's supposed to be happy with that while you want the freaking world. No, bullshit. Just total bullshit. If a man is expecting all this stuff from a woman, and he's only willing to give her, you know, protection once or twice a year, proclaim that he loves her to, you know, his friends and family, I guess, and then provide when she doesn't really need providing for because she's kicking it on her own, and he ain't really providing anything emotional because, you know, he just wants his sex stuff handled. Well, what is it that a woman is really getting in a relationship with one of these guys? I mean, does someone understand this? I mean, you know, maybe you have an input, a voice, you know, an opinion that is going to assess it differently than what I am doing. I would love to hear it. I'm not saying my thinking on this is, you know, absolute and the only way to perceive this information. But you know, from the way what I read, this is my take on it. And I'm not seeing anything that would entice me to be in a relationship if it were true and that all men were like this. I swear I would be single forever. I would never even date because I wouldn't want to be bothered with the drama. It's just too much. It's like, you know, the guys are just like spoiled brats. And, you know, he makes that sound like that's okay and that women should be down with that. And he says that men want to be considered number one. They want to be the best somewhere in their life. They want to be in charge. They want to be the head man. You know, they're not in every situation, but they want to at least have some kind of bragging rights to say, well, I'm number one. He said, women don't seem to care much about this, but for us men, it's everything. After we've attained that, it's critical that we can show off what we get for being number one. We have to be able to flaunt it, and women have to be able to see it. Otherwise, what's the use of being number one? And I, you know, read that and I had to laugh, so I had to extract that particular part. So he contradicted himself. This is another one of the contradictions that I found in this book. He said earlier that men aren't trying to be better for the woman, right, because they want to do all this stuff for themselves. They want to, you know, achieve all this. He can't really concentrate on you. It's not about you. It's about him being a man. So what that means is he's looking for the approval of other men. He's driven to be better for, you know, we want him to be better for himself, but he wants to have bragging rights with other men so that he can look like he's the top dog to the dudes, right? So since he's being judged by other men, and he said it already doesn't matter to women so much if they're more interested in building things together, well, then that basically means that he's building what he's building to get the props from other guys. He wants to feel like a king to other guys. So even though he says, well, you know, what's the use of being number one if it's not about women, it's obviously not about women because you've already said that the women aren't really a part of the plan. So, you know, he's all over the place with this stuff. It's like, dude, get your shit straight. Pick one thing and stick to it. You just back and forth. So like I said at the top of the show, for those who may have missed it, he put something out there, and this is throughout the book. He'll put forth a theory, and then he takes it away. He puts forth a fact, and then he undoes it. He puts forth a position that is supposed to be a fact, and then he says something else that's in complete opposition to it. So by the time you finish the book, you don't know really where he stands. You don't know what he's talking about, and you don't know what he really recommends because he's back and forth. He's used a whole bunch of words and hasn't said anything, nothing that's constructive or useful for a relationship. But he does say this. The way you can help your man get there is to help him focus on his dream, to see the vision and implement his plan. Why would you do that if you are not a part of it? Why would you do that? he just said that you're not going to be a part of it. He can't do two things, remember? He said that. He can't do two things. So he's not going to be really tripping on you. So he's not really considering you, what you need, what you want. You're just a peripheral thing. You're basically there for some ass. That's basically what he's saying, but he's trying to be polite about it. So, but now he's saying you can help him get there is to help him focus on his dream, see the vision, and implement his plan. Why would you do that when the time he gets those things? You might be like one of Steve's other two wives, and in the dust. In the meantime, you've helped him sacrifice yourself to help him get to where he needs to be, and he leaves you to go off, run off with some other broad. Why would you do that? Yet, this is what a lot of black women do. They feel like it's their job. They have to lift up folks. They have to support folks. They have to, have a brother's back and be behind him and all this stuff. You ain't married to the fool. He's not committed to you like that. He don't have your back. Then you just let him do his thing. You step back. You do yours. He going to get there when he gets there the best way he knows how. Since, he wants you to be a peripheral and he don't have time, then let him use his own time to get where it is he's trying to go. That's not your job. It's not, he's not offering anything of a reciprocal nature. And I'm looking for in a partnership, okay, if you're helping this guy refocus on his dreams and his vision and implement his plan, he should be doing the same for you so that you both achieve your dreams. You both achieve your goals. You both get to the finish line. Why should he be at the finish line and you at the starting gate? Because you spent yourself helping him run his race, and nobody's helping you run yours. Forget that shit. That's not happening. But yet, a lot of women sacrifice themselves like that, and they have nothing to show for it. And you see these women out, like their husbands looking fresh as a daisy, boyfriends, whoever, looking fresh as a daisy, clothes all crispy and everything, fresh from the barbershop. He's looking all relaxed, Woman looking haggard, don't have on no makeup, clothes all raggedy, looking, she's overweight, out of shape. Her kids and her man look great, and she's just giving, and totally sacrificing herself. And ladies, I'm telling you, that has got to stop. This kind of book right here merely advocates more of that self-sacrificial behavior. It is wrong. There's nothing about this that is healthy for a female in a relationship. Nothing in here was good for women, nothing. It was all focused on what you need to give to a man and what you need to be for, to make him feel better. Not one sentence was about what a man would do to help you feel better and to be in love with him and be committed to him. Not one freaking sentence. The one part that he did say, well, the man would help you with the housework and all that stuff, was done with the intention of him getting some ass as his reward. And then, like I said, he turned right around in the next paragraph and said, yeah, but ain't no man going to be whining and dining you every night, because sometimes he just wants you. He just wants it. You just got to roll over and give it to him. Okay, so he essentially took it all away with that one sentence. So that's what I'm saying. I want you to go back and read this book with new eyes and really look. Make notes if you need to, because he does the biggest mind game. This is the biggest pimp shit I've ever seen in my life. That is why I titled the show, is this, really information, or is this like the best comedy routine that he's ever done? And I think it's the latter, because that nigga's laughing all the way to the bank.